The 2018 Seattle Mariners were a pretty good team based off win-loss record. 89-73 isn't too shabby, but in the top-heavy American League, it just didn't get the job done. Combine that with a negative run differential over the season and one of the worst minor league farm systems in baseball, and you end up with Jerry DiPoto addressing his team the best way he knows how, by trading everyone. While the 2019 Mariners finished last in their division, there is reason for some optimism as the team is much younger and boasts a top 10 farm system heading into the 2020 season. So let's look at how this quick rebuild happened and what the Mariners have in store for the near future. My name is Bobby, and welcome back to Stat Stories. Shoutouts to Alex Combs and Extinguisher 10 for inspiring this video, as well as anyone else who suggested covering the Mariners. Let's look at who was on that 2018 team. These 9 received the bulk of the playing time among position players, and here's how old they were during that season. Denard Span, 34, D. Gordon, 30, Mitch Haniger, 27, Kyle Seager, 30, Gene Segura, 28, Robinson Cano, 35, Ryan Healy, 26, Mike Zunino, 27, and Nelson Cruz, 37. Baseball Reference has a tool called Bat Age, which weighs the ages of a team's batters based on how much they play. And the Mariners had the oldest batters in MLB that season with an average age of 29.8. Now sure, Cruz and Cano inflate that number, but they didn't have any young guys in that lineup. Who is still on the roster in 2020? Bam Bam Bam, Ribbadam Dam. Just 3 of the 9. And what about pitchers? Well, here are the 13 Mariners pitchers with at least 40 innings pitched in 2018. And of those 13, just 1 remains in Marco Gonzalez. So let's see how the Mariners shape up for 2020. A lot of new faces here and a lot of youth. Running through the ages again, we have Kyle Lewis, 24, Malik Smith, 27, Mitch Haniger, 29, Kyle Seager, 32, JP Crawford, 25, Shed Long, 24, Evan White, 24, Tom Murphy, 29, and Dan Vogelbach, 27. Seager figures to be the only regular over 30 years old, and I should mention Haniger's outlook is a bit fuzzy after multiple surgeries this offseason. But at this rate, he should be ready by opening day. Whenever that will be. But anyway, the Mariners also have 26-year-old Braden Bishop and 25-year-old Jake Fraley in the outfield, and Marco Gonzalez is now the experienced leader of a pitching staff that will feature 24-year-olds Justice Sheffield and Justin Dunn. At this point, we need to look at how all these young players were acquired, beginning with the draft. Jerry DiPoto took over as GM in late 2015 and has had a very clear draft strategy. In 2016, the Mariners selected 6 college hitters, 3 college pitchers, 1 high school hitter, and no high school pitchers in the first 10 rounds. 2017, 3 college hitters, 5 college pitchers, and 2 high school pitchers. 2018 was all college picks with 5 hitters and 5 pitchers, and 2019 was 2 college hitters, 7 college pitchers, and 2 high school pitchers. One of the college pitchers was a competitive balance pick, which is why there were 11 players selected instead of 10. So in total, 36 college players to just 5 high school players. And these 4 years of draft picks have given the M's 2020 rookies Kyle Lewis and Evan White, as well as some guys who could all be contributors by 2022, such as Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Cal Raleigh, Isaiah Campbell, Sam Carlson, and Brandon Williamson. And of course, we need to mention some of Jerry DiPoto's young trade acquisitions, who, if you're wondering, has made over 100 trades in his 4 years as GM, by far the most in baseball. But those young players include Shed Long from the Yankees, JP Crawford from the Phillies, Jake Fraley and Malik Smith from the Rays, Justice Sheffield from the Yankees in the James Paxton trade, and Justin Dunn and top prospect Jared Kelenic from the Mets in the Cano and Diaz trade. In case you didn't notice, all these trades happened in the same offseason. So now that we've looked at how this rebuild happened, let's take a closer look at some of these young players, beginning with the pitchers. Justin Dunn is a righty with good velocity and the stuff to strike out more than a batter per inning. While his control is a bit inconsistent, he has a strong 4-pitch mix with a really good slider and could be an above-average starting pitcher. Justice Sheffield will also make his fair share of starts for the Mariners in 2020, though the lefty saw his stock drop in 2019 after a very rough time in AAA. Still, he has the stuff to limit solid contact and strike batters out, but will need to prove he can limit walks at the major league level. Next is 2018 first-round pick Logan Gilbert, who was a top 50 prospect according to MLB.com. He pitched at Single-A, Class A Advanced, and Double-A in 2019, and pitched well every step of the way. He has 4 strong pitches, including a mid to upper 90s fastball, and looks to be on a fast track to the majors. And the last pitcher to mention is George Kirby, the Mariners' 2019 first-round pick. There isn't too much to say on him as he's only thrown 23 professional innings, but he had 25 strikeouts and walked a grand total of 0 batters, which is no fluke as he had the best strikeout-to-walk ratio in Division I baseball while at Elon University in 2019. As for position players, first baseman Evan White was signed to a 6-year, $24 million contract before even making his major league debut. He's a good hitter who gets on base a lot and started tapping into his power potential in 2019. He runs well and is also an elite defender who should compete for the title of Best Defensive First Baseman in baseball. Kyle Lewis will also be a rookie in 2020 and showed promise in his 18-game stint in the majors in 2019. The former first-round pick has always had the tools to be an impact player, but never quite put it all together in the minors, partly due to an ACL injury. He also strikes out a lot, so will need to provide consistent power to be a valuable player. Next is the middle infield duo of Shed Long and JP Crawford. Long has a surprising amount of power in his 5'8" frame and runs well and gets on base, making him a candidate to bat leadoff for the Mariners. His biggest question mark is whether or not he can handle second base defensively for a full season. Crawford, on the other hand, is a more than capable defender at shortstop, but hasn't hit all that well in the majors. Crawford will still get on base thanks to his high walk rate, but it's safe to say the former number 2 prospect in baseball hasn't quite lived up to the hype yet. But still, he'll just be 25 years old in 2020. Lastly, we need to bring up the Golden Boys, Julio Rodriguez and Jared Kelenic. The 19-year-old Rodriguez stands at 6'4" and has already shown great power and a strong arm in right field. With another good season in 2020, we could see Rodriguez rank as a top 10 prospect and wind up in the majors as soon as 2021. Kelenic is also breezing through the minor leagues and reached Double-A last year at 20 years old, while also hitting 23 homers across 3 levels of the minors. The center fielder excels in all facets of the game, and with Rodriguez playing beside him in the near future, the Mariners could have 2 of the best outfielders in all of baseball. So bottom line, the Mariners went from one of the oldest teams in the majors to one of the youngest in just 2 seasons. And they did it by primarily drafting college players and trading for major league-ready prospects in the age range of 22 to 24 years old. The Mariners finally have a clear plan in place, but we're still a few years away from seeing this team become a true contender. And maybe then, Seattle can end the longest active postseason drought in Major League Baseball. So thank you for watching, and please consider subscribing to help this channel grow and reach more people. Leave a like and share the video if you enjoyed it, and leave any video suggestions in the comments. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.